Right. Welcome back to the morning drawing, and Critter is not running correctly, so... Oh, there she is. Well, look at that. Just on time. Alright. Budush. There you go. So yeah, welcome back. And let's get started on this bad boy. What were we doing again? Oh yeah, drawing charcoal hide. That is what we're doing. It always takes like 2 minutes or something to get this thing up and running correctly, but I thought I could have made it, but no. No. Ah, there it is. Alright, cool. So this is what we're doing. So, let's get started. Let me just grab my stuff and then I'm ready to go. Whoosh. Alright. So, let's take a look. I want to get the pencil back on. Pencil. 5 is too big. We need 2, 3, yes. And we need pure black on that one. And then we need to start on... What was it again? Well, the easiest way to find out what I need to do is actually just, do this. No? Does that not work? Ah, yes. So where did I left off? I left off here. Thank you. Alright, let's get started. Can I just draw on it like that? Yeah, I can. Alright, cool. So 2.8 is good enough. Nice. So yeah, today I'm gonna be starting again. And hopefully, today we'll be able to get done the fully how do you say this? The full approach upon this. So you have like this approach already. You have already the approach that I'm having like right now, and then a little bit more, a little bit more. Yes, like that. This is fine. So yeah, hopefully today we will be able to get everything done for to get started on the covering part, because we want that. We definitely want that. We want to start on it, but it takes time to get to it. And of course, since that we are starting with it, we need to make sure that we are doing it correctly. And therefore, we need to do it slowly and steadily. It doesn't help that my tummy is actually airy. Stupid tummy. It always happens. Always happens every single day. It's either, that's because finally that my my stuff is getting working and it makes me really not sick. No, not sick. The word. A little bit flabbergasted? No. Yeah, I think it is just airy. Drowsy. There you go. Drowsy. Yes. Because it doesn't hurt. It's more like, an agony annoyances. And that's the problem. It's like you have too much water in you. That's the feeling. If you drink too much water, you become this little bit of a like, ugh. And yeah, that is exactly what I feel right now. and it is annoying. But, got me through the night though, so I'm not complaining here. So what I'm going to be doing today is, casually drawing these little rocks, giving them texture to it. And then hopefully, once that is all done, we are able to get to the second part of it, which is the coloring part. Probably, it's not like it's only 2-hour work. So yeah, we should be able to get to it. Of course, whoa, gassy. Of course, every single thing is, a little bit difficult sometimes. It's like time to time you know what to do, time to time you know where, everything ends and goes. It's just, the little things that are sometimes an annoyances. But yeah, this should be fine. It is not enough. It is not a lot of work. It's just, casually drawing the lighting parts and the dark parts together, and then hopefully, get some decent quality rocks. Then once we're done with, decent quality rocks, we can then use the coloration that we gained from this. So we're going to use the colors that we had before, and then use that to get to the coloring part. But before we can do that, we of course need to make sure that we have everything under control. And that means we need to make sure that we have these rocks represent rocks. Oh well, it's a charcoal hide, so it should be like, this molten skin kind of feeling to it. And to get to that, we need to make sure that we have that. We cannot use the hyper-realistic one because that one doesn't work with the style we are using currently. It will look very odd, and therefore, it won't work. Doesn't matter though that we are using this like that. The only thing that matters here is that we are able to get to the rock part drawn in. Not drawed. What is that for word? Drawed. Is that even a word? Probably not. It's drawn in. Ugh. Pronunciations are sometimes very difficult to pronounce. I am very bad at pronunciations. Definitely. Indefinitely. So, to get from point A to point B, after this I need to also work on my CV again, and I need to do the walk, so I need to do the walk first and then the CV, working on the CV because of the amount of stuff I need to do. The main problem I always have with the CV is like, well, what doesn't need to be done? Well, this, and then, you realize like, oh my god, it's not a lot of work, it's just, annoyance. It just takes time. Time away that you can do for other things, like having fun with friends, or game, I guess that's also a thing. Or draw. Whatever you feel like, man. Whatever you feel like. I am just, drawing and keeping things up and running. Of course, everybody has their own style. This is mine. It is one of the most infuriating styles ever that I created because it is like a lot of work, but in the end it will pay off. I feel like, working with it and seeing how it works, it creates this awesome idea. And drawing in particular with this is, well, the major difficulty here is, realizing that we're drawing rocks. We're drawing rocks on spawn skin. How we are gonna do that? Well, we already have the texture for it, and now we need to just draw over it. We created it ourselves, therefore, it is not a copy of anybody else's work. And I'm using it as a guideline towards my own rocks, therefore, it's even more complicated. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I don't like to copy someone's work. It is one of the worst things I ever can do. Most cases, most of my drawings are like, handly drawn because I really like to draw my handwork. I really like to draw without, stamping. Stamping does do create good effects. Don't get me wrong there. They do create cool effects. They create great effects. But most of the effects I cannot use because they're either too high res or I need to reuse it like this. Of course I'm going to be using stamps to get to my point. I'm not going to be using stamps in total. I'm just going to be using it to get to my point. What point? Well, the drawing point, of course. Able to draw the texture yourself is actually very smart because therefore, you know what is going to be happening, and working with your eyes, you see what kind of, texture you want, how to do it, how to get to it, and then use it. Of course, I learned a lot already because I actually did a lot of drawing parts that I do, and then I realized like, oh well, the main issue is like, oh no, I need to do the drawing and I need to do the coloring. Well, how do I do that? Well, according to my science, coloring you need at least 3 colors for everything. You're not supposed to go too dark upon the coloring, otherwise the color won't work and the outlines won't work. So don't go too dark, use not too bright colors either, and use something in between. Also, apparently, that is what I did. That's what I did with the tentacles as well. I used a dark red, I used a light red, and I used a middle red. Then, of course, I did it the same with the orange and with the green. Well, I did not do that with those two, but I should have, technically. But it was not a problem because I used the blending tool to get to the shading part. Oh, so gassy. Oh boy, 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 boy. My tummy is making over hours. Well, the intestines are actually making over hours. Ugh. I really hate it when I'm gassy. It means that, of course, it means that my whole stuff is at work, which is a good thing because work is important for your body to be. It's just, it creates this drowsy feeling, which is a blown up feeling that is really annoying. Really annoying. Keeps you awake at night. Kind of annoying. So yeah, try to avoid, well, I cannot ignore it, but it is just annoying. It's just annoying. But yeah, the rock amount of stuff I do. So I create these rocks. These rocks have textures already. I'm reusing the textures that I created to represent the shading parts, the darker parts, and then draw lines over it. Therefore, creating the effect of, the rock. And so you get everything that you want. Anyway, so now, after, all of this work is gonna be done, we can then, start with the actual parts, which is the real thing, the real deal. Jerry's shitty deal kind of deals, I guess. Yeah, that's also a thing. Apparently, apparently now Larry apparently has an evil twin brother. Huh, who knew? Yep. Still, I don't like Larry though. Worst drawing I ever created. Worst drawing ever. It's the most. It looks like, a made up Pokemon with terrible looks on it. But yeah. Well, at least he's now an icon. So that's good. He's now an icon for the believers of the Larry cult. I never knew that Larry had a cult, but now it has. And I created it myself, which is good. Well, technically I did not create the cult. Somebody else did. But but yeah, the amount of stuff I'm trying to get here and the amount of work I'm trying to get through this thing, holy hell, it's a lot. But is it worth it? Yes, it's definitely worth it if I'm able to get to it. And so, that's how I'm doing it. I'm drawing the rocks, getting shading into the rocks, creating the shading that therefore, creating shaping by using, the textures that I have and then creating a shading like appearance upon it. This is always how I use to draw rocks. You draw these crackling effects to it, and then you lessen them on the top of it, and then you darken the bottom parts or some of the cracks to create the shape. And of course this is like little bit by little bit, and you're like zoomed in like bazillion times. It's like 500%, so that's a lot of zooming. You think that this might not affect anything. You think like, oh no, but most of the things you're gonna draw are not gonna be like that. Well, if you ever see too much detail, trust me, you never saw one of my drawings before. Detail is an important thing, because detail can create texture, and texture is important to represent or create shaping in a drawing. Back in the day when I only drew on my pencil and gum, I had like a lot of trouble with getting the shapes right. So I designed stuff to get the shaping right of a certain type of thing, like for instance grass, or a tree, or wood, or weapon, or armor. It's for instance, if I have grass, I can draw grass like this, and no biggie. But if I draw it like this, that already creates a different effect. And trust me, that effect is actually quite cool, especially if you have like lots of grass around. Then you can create this grassy feeling to it. And that's all what it needs. You want to shape it so that it looks like grass, acts like grass, feels like grass. Even though maybe drawings cannot be felt, but they can be felt by the mind. So yeah, if the appearance is correct, you will see that oh, this represents grass. Well, then that does look like grass, and then your mind is like, oh my god, look at that, it's grass. It's quite funny. It's quite funny how the mind actually likes to do that trick of yours, like, this represents grass. It looks like grass, it acts like grass, it must be grass. Even though, it looks like a drawing instead. But yeah, that's the effect of it. Even with mountains, back in the day when I drew mountains, I always drew them like this, and then, make the top like this, and then have like this the glacier. And then put a lot of shading to it, because I always drew in black and white. I never drew in anything else than black and white. Why did I do that? I have no idea why I did that. Because I know one thing for sure. I cannot do coloring. That was the thing back then. I had no idea how to do coloring. I had no idea how to do shading. So I went with, you know what, screw you all. I'm gonna go for black and white appearance. And well, it worked. It just worked. And the funny thing is, like, I don't need color to see. I can see color quite clearly if I'm using it, and that's why the textures are always looking like, black and white. But once you add color to it, you see already the shading inside of the texture, and that's the cool stuff. Because I already am used to seeing everything in black and white, therefore, the shading looks already alright. Even though, it's just, a texture. It's not even the real shading. Which is quite amazing. That, you can have that kind of feeling to it, like, I know that this is black and white, but it looks quite cool and stuff. So yeah. Also, what I learned from, my normal drawings back in the day, it's like, oh, how do I draw this? And then, you know, you take a deep day, like, oh no, this is wrong. Oh no, this is wrong. And then, you know, you figure out, like, oh well, so that's how you draw a dragon. And then, you know, you draw the dragon. The funny thing is, actually, I like to draw, like, I don't know. Most of the times I actually drew medieval knights and, you know, structures. Structures, you know, structures that are organic, not, you know, normal looking. Like, you know, big giant sky tower buildings. No, more like, you know, you have this big giant building with a big giant laser on top. Well, congratulations. Also, this building has feet somehow. I don't know why it has chicken legs, but it has chicken legs. I saw a house on chicken legs. Well, there you go. You have now a big giant building full of chicken legs and a big giant laser on top. Made by, and then, you know, it's also, you know, controlled by evil minions. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I drew. I even drew once. I even drew a boat with an octopus propelling system. So it was just an octopus trapped on top of a boat, of a galley. Not even, you know, your normal looking metal boat. No, it's a galley. So it has this war paint face on it. It was quite funny that I could draw that. I also drew like big giant creatures, like elephant looking like rhinos. Yeah, rhino kind of creatures, probably. Insects, those are easy. I really like the insect appearance sometimes. Well, you know, not all the insects I'd like to draw. It's always the scythe-like creatures or scorpions. So yeah, I'm really good at drawing animals sometimes. Not all of them. Horses are one thing of them that I hate to draw. Holy shit, those are hard. It is because of their way of how they look. The same goes for dogs and cats. I cannot draw them. It's a thing that I never learned. And now, you know, since I'm busy, you know, learning stuff, that means that I also need to learn how to do that. Yeah. So that's why I'm learning. Same goes for, you know, drawing. Because this design was actually created back in the day, you know, it's like, oh yes, this is reptilian appearance. Yes, true. But this drawing is going to be looking way better than the other one before. And the funny thing is actually, what I'm going to be trying to do is, like, you know, getting this, well, not anime kind of style approach, but more like I'm trying to combine the things that I learned from what I learned now already. How to draw, how to get positions right, how to get face positions right, and then I'm gonna be trying to get, you know, the effect to it. So what I'm gonna be trying to do here on this drawing, for instance, is like, well, I drew this one. Now try to draw it again. What? Yes, try to draw it again in a different emotion. So for instance, this one is gonna be like, you know, this, oh, you done it, you dick. You know, that kind of a feeling. Like, you know, he is not gonna be looking. He's not looking nice. He's looking a little bit pissed. If you look at his eyes, he's already having the eye like slowly closed, and you have the mouth there. So yeah, he's looking pissed, and I'm gonna make sure that he looks pissed. I'm gonna make sure that he looks pissed. Therefore, he looks pissed. Yes, he's losing his anger. He's angry. So what I'm gonna be doing after that, I'm gonna make, you know, laugh, or, you know, something else like that, something like happy or joyful, whatever it needs to be. And maybe that might be looking a little bit unnatural, truly, yes, but it does help me learn how to do stuff. The main issue I have is that I don't know how to draw emotions, most likely, and that is a thing that I need to learn. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm using this as a base to learn how to do it, and then, you know, redraw it again, and then in a different position, position on the body, or different pose at least, and a different facial look. So therefore, you know, you're gonna have like this whole damn character looking. So you can see the whole damn character. You see and feel what the character feels like and how it behaves. Or, you know, how the character behaves. And eventually, if that is done, if I am able to draw multiple times the same character over and over again, and I know how to do it, then my mission is successful. Of course, I'm gonna be trying to draw also other characters because that's also important. But those will be later on. And that's why, it's important for me to learn. I learn from my mistakes. I learn from, how to do layers properly because damn it, that is hard to get right. That is hard to get right. Because you're working on different layers. You wanna actually work step by step on the layers, and you wanna actually work step by step on the coloring of the layers. Why would you do that? If you do that kind of approach, you gain faster progress, and you will be able to you will be able to solve certain kind of situations quicker. For instance, my problem with not doing this kind of approach sometimes is that, I want to draw on this, and then I realize like, oh wait, it doesn't work on this one. It doesn't the whole damn coloring part doesn't work then sometimes, or I need to rearrange the whole damn thing. That's why it's important to put them in groups. Also put them in separate groups of the groups so that you find out like, oh well, I can just select this whole damn map and then switch it out into this position instead. And yeah, that's exactly what I did. I improve upon myself and try to get better at it. Because there is nothing better than just learning from your own mistakes. Holy hell, that's something that I learned. Not always the hard way, of course, but it's one of the easiest way to learn. Because if you learn by your mistakes and then figure out how to fix them, it saves you a lot of time later on. Of course, finding out how to do that, it doesn't always have to be yourself that, you find a problem, you can also ask someone else to fix it for you. You just need to figure out, how did he do it? What did he do it? And with what? And how? And then, you figure it out and then be like, thanks. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm very happy, that the amount of stuff I learned already, and I'm still learning. Like for instance, poses and all that stuff. It's like, I never done it before. I can do it. I can do it. That kind of encouragement you need. You need to know that even if you never did it before, you probably can do it. Yeah, you can. If you are really good if you're really good at copycatting, being a true mimic, you can do anything. I'm a person that dislikes doing mimic kind of approach, but it does help me with a lot of learning because I see another person's drawing, I can see what he does, and therefore I can implement that in my own style. That's the important part. You need to implement it in your own style. If you don't do it in your own style, you don't learn. Because you have your own style. Your style gets developed when you start to draw. First, of course, you don't have your style. Don't get me wrong here. But eventually, you're like, I want to do it this way, or I want to do it that way. Then, of course, you're going to do it that way, because that's how it works. If you do it that way, then, you create your own approach to it. And eventually, it gets more and more and more and more. And then eventually, you get to it. You get your own style. Congratulations. And that makes it even more better. Like for instance, I'm not copying things, but I'm a very good person when it comes to looking at things and thinking them in pictures. So my style is actually is from encyclopedias reading. Alright? You have these big giant encyclopedias of dinosaurs or animals, all handily drawn, alright? Because, that was cool back in the day. And, back when I went to, when I went to my grandpa, he always had that book. So I always read that book. what are the odds then once you read a book that's all about, animals that you can see handily drawn, when will be the time then you finally, implement that into your own style? Well, the time when you learn how to draw. I learned how to draw at 6, I believe. 6 and then 7, 8, 9, 10, and then, you get even further. At preschool I even did it, so that was fun. The most funniest thing is actually that one of the parents of a school student that was in my class actually always fished out my drawings and then gave them to her grandpa. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Why? Because apparently I drew in such a unique style that was actually inspiring for her grandpa. Which is quite funny that, somebody else's work is an inspiration for another, regardless of what the quality is or how it is done. It all depends on what and how it is created. Maybe he's inspired by the art style. Maybe he's inspired by the drawing, drawing situation, potential, no, drawing way, yes. The way how you draw. The art style, the way how you draw, the way how you do certain types of things, like for instance, like, oh, I'm gonna do it this way or that way. And then in the end you have the same result, but you did it the other way around. So the progress around it, maybe they are inspired by that, or I don't know. Certain things, such things are actually quite important in art. It's not always about art. It's always about what do you want to do? What do you want to draw? If you want to draw a bloody damn horse, well, congratulations, you're gonna draw a bloody damn horse. The horse might look ugly. The horse might look like a true idiotic creation, like my great 50-cent horse. Yeah, that is a horse. That's a centaur. There you go. He looked so goofy that he might came out of a terrible comic. Yeah, that's an art style I have. I have an art style that does not work for this kind of approach. The bomb. Woo! Yeah, boy. So yeah, that's also an art style that I drew. It's one of my early art styles because the amount of because back in the day I learned how to draw, droids and battle droids and droidicas, and they all were looking like this. Pew, 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 pew. And the first thing that came after, this creation came, this creation. Oh, it's a droidica with pew, pew, more. Yes. And then came the villages, the village. And then, you had like, after certain types of periods, you erased those droids. And then, you put more stuff down, like a windmill or a river. Oh, yes. So that's how I developed my art style. It went from, pew, pew, pew guys to literally, dudes with armor. So, you had armor dudes. And then, you had, and eventually you get the point. So the environment came more detailed and detailed and detailed. And then, stuff came to be. Well, by stuff I mean the dragons and all that stuff. And eventually, I even drew battlefields, full battlefields. Of course, they were not impressive. Don't get me wrong. They were just, dudes that look like, toy figures. But, they were cool. Ah, yes, the old style of, little stick figures. Those are actually one of my favorite kind of things I drew back in the day. Stick figure war. Yeah. And then, eventually I got inspired by, drawing dragons and dinosaurs. And then, I got the hang of it. First became like this. Rah. Rah. And then, you get better at it eventually. So, yeah. It's quite funny. it's quite funny to see, like, all the kind of certain kind of ways how to do stuff, and then you realize, like, oh well, I did it actually that way, or ooh, I discovered it this way. And in the end, it didn't matter what you drew back in the class, in pre-class. It was like, oh well, I drew this, and then I drew that. It was quite funny that the teachers were actually pissed off that I always drew in class. I was never paying attention upon reading stuff. I was like, huh, reading? Well, that's for losers. And then that is a thing that was like the hardest part of my life. Like, whew, I had to read a book. Oh no. And so yeah, I tried very hard, and eventually, I got a book read, and then I was like, I really need to find out how to get around this, how I get around these books. So I found it very interesting to read, encyclopedias. So I could read, I just could not read, Mr. J and the legendary coffee machine. There you go. So yeah, I could not read such kind of books. I was like, oh well, I don't want to read about Charlie and how he found out about the apple that was hidden in the closet for like 10 weeks and was still not rotten. I don't need to read that. I just want to read a book that is about, I don't know, dinosaurs and insects and all that stuff. So yeah, eventually I developed a way of learning how to read, well, properly read and fast read encyclopedias. Turns out biology was also such a kind of thing. The biology book, well, I read that like a truck. That was like, today we're gonna read this, and I was like, actually I already read it. And then everybody's like, what? How? It's like, well, I got kind of bored, and well, I thought like, oh, I can give it a try, and then boom, you read it. You read it like a beast. So most problems, with getting biology done, or science, or yeah, getting chemistry books done, or mathematics done, it's like, oh, I read it, so I learned it. And then, that's how most of the things went. Well, mathematics, not that much. Mathematics is a little bit difficult, but most things about science-based were for me like a cakewalk in the park. Yes. Because it was so easy, because I read it all, and it's like, oh my god, this is so interesting, this is such a good stuff. And then, you got totally motivated. Of course, most cases, because they are literally, you need to literally read it. So the books, the exams and all the stuff are like, well, because this is science, you need to really know everything about it. Otherwise you will fail. I didn't have that problem, because I already knew what was going on, because I had this little zing upon it. Like, every single time I read it, or I had like, oh my god, I read this in a book. I read this in this book. I read it on chapter 4859789, and it was all about blah blah blue blue blue. And then you get this whole you rock the exam by ease eventually. So yeah, that was in high school, that part. Good stuff. Also, I did drawings in high school also, and then it died down a little bit at when I went to look for a good how do you say, scholarship? Yeah, scholarship. For a scholarship I wanted, and then I quit that scholarship, and I went straight back to school, because I wanted to actually go higher up. And so I went back to school, and I got a new diploma from another high school diploma, which of course increases the difficulty of, the college. So you can get on into a higher college. And again, surprise, surprise, I was interested in biology and science. What? And the funny thing was actually that I was like I had like this class of mine, and the whole class was like, I have problems with this. And then I was like, oh, really? And then I went back to drawing in class. Best shit ever. I even asked the teacher, like, is it okay if I draw today? It's like, well, you're only getting good grades, so I guess. And so yeah, I did drawings again, and then at spare time I also went to a quiet room, and then I started drawing again, and that's when the drawing that I'm now currently drawing is. Oh hey, Uncle-san. Good day. Yes, it's an awesome day. It's a great day. I'm just talking, about how great my day is. Because, well, actually, the history of my day. Why I'm so fucking happy right now. Well, technically I'm happy because I'm talking about something that was amazing back in the day. But hey, no. It still counts. If you can remember stuff, then it still counts. Alright. That is good enough. Now we're gonna add some more detail to it. Alright, so we have these rocks. We have the rocks. We have the rocks. We have the rocks. We have the rocks. So look at that. All the rocks. Now, since we have the rocks, we can see like, oh well, that's a lot of stuff. Yes, it is. It is also a lot of rocks, as you can see. So how do we fix this? Well, we have the rocks, so we need to fix some parts here that we forgot. Well, I kind of forgot, and need to fix that. So to get this stuff done, I need to find out if I want to draw over here as well. Yeah, sure, why not? Alright, cool. So yeah, as you can see, this already creates this effect upon the rocks that you want. You want this. And so now we are gonna add some more detail to it. I never had motivation to do my hobbies during class. I just slept. Well, sleeping is also motivation, It helps it helps you concentrate better later on. I always was fucking tired after, listening to the teacher because, listening is it's a really hard thing to do, especially if you have a concentration of a mouse that sees cheese, So yeah, my concentration was non-existing. My concentration is non-existing. Unless there is cheese, then yes, there was concentration, and that's the whole point. My concentration is like, well, I have concentration. I just only use it for the important stuff. Which means I hyperfocus. And hyperfocus is a very funny thing, but it does give you like an insane amount of headache later on. Normal people will say like, oh well, why don't you spread it out then? And then it's like, I wish I could. I fucking wish I could, but I can't. I am so focused that I will do anything to avoid anything else than focusing on focusing on it. And that's the funny thing, like, my hyperfocus works as well as with knowledge, as well as with, people. Because I zen out people. I actually don't see people. Even though they walk near me, I don't see them. Somehow they are erased from my memory. Somehow they're erased from my vision. Even though they said to my mother like, "Hey, I saw Jorn again," but he didn't wave back. And it's like, well, I didn't clearly see you. So clearly, it's either you imagining that I am there, or it is the other way around, that I imagine that you were not there. And that's quite funny. Like, not be able to see people unless you want to see them. It's like, that's strange. And yeah, uh, I try to do my very best to avoid that kind of thing because holy shit, that's actually quite annoying. Because you don't know that you don't know that people don't see you, they don't see you, and then you see them not, and it's uh it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you're that I'm aware of it, like that it happens sometimes. It's just a little bit shameful that it happens. Ah, but yeah, it does help me concentrate though. It does help me concentrate. Ah, yeah. Quite lovely how much stuff is done here. Alright, let's get started on the coloring then. So we do want these colors. We do. So we want to put a different layer down. Please. Thank you. Oh, it's an autosave. Well, I will save then as well, just to be sure of it. I want to save because of, well, we finished up the main part. We now need to get started on the coloring part, which is also important. And then we finally can remove the, oh my god. Mm, mm, mm. Sorry, a gaping mouth. Yes, that's what happened just yet. So we want this to be underneath it. Alright. Now we're gonna pick up a color. We want, which color is the first one to go for? Because we're using black and white, gray. Because we're using gray colors, it should be not that hard to get to it. So what is the base color here? The base color is actually that one. Yeah, that one. Now let's put that on the side so we can have it on the thing. We need to move upwards, grab the main tool that we had, go here and draw. So this is the main color that we want. Of course, that's the color that we first gonna go for. So we're gonna first color things up in gray. Gray. Oh. And yes, this might not be looking like we're now doing it, but we're doing it. 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 We just need to get gray done, and then we're gonna use different colors upon it. So this one we need four. We need four colors for this, I believe. Of course, we're just gonna be doing the doodly daidly. We can go for this. This is easy. So yeah, you can see that we are erasing a lot of stuff, but it should be fine. Should be fine. I don't see what everybody is worried about so much. It's fine. Just, my casual drawing skills. Whoa. Alright, that's globally done. Alright, time to erase a lot. Alright, now we're gonna do systematically, we're gonna erase a lot of gray. Oh wait, I need to actually silence this then. Yes, otherwise I am not able to draw over it. The skills are gonna be inferior. So yeah, this is the first color that we're gonna go for. The first of many. And why are we doing this in lots of color? Because they're rocks, and apparently highlighting rocks is well, not highlighting, but giving rocks color do rely a little bit more on they do a little bit more relying on more color than one. Of course, you know, one color is not enough, but multiple colors will be. Alright. This is gonna be taking a while, isn't it? Yep, it is. Lovely. It's quite fun how, you know, the drawing eventually turns out to be like, you know, a long... It just takes sometimes some of the moves, no, not moves, some of the ways of how to do this does take a long time. So yeah, that's one down. That's one line down, and now we're gonna go for the next one. And the main issue most of the times is like, you know, you want this to be, you know, the perfect of the perfect kind of approach. And that's true. But to get to that, you need to realize that most of these, you know, rocks that I just drew are complicated shapes. So that means that erasing a lot of it, you know, erasing the color differences, it's gonna take a long time. Not a long time, but it does gonna be taking quite a while to finally reach my destination, which is gonna be, you know, the end result of this drawing. So when we first have like one color, then we need to have a second color, then a third color, and we're not gonna do a destructive way of working. If we're gonna go for a destructive way of working, we might cause more trouble, because this is a very detailed well, not project, but drawing. If we're gonna do destructive, it might be quicker done, but if you make a mistake, good luck. Good fucking luck fixing it. Because holy hell, destructive is not a very good way to do things sometimes. It gets things done, but it also gets things ruined. And, well, you know, we ain't gotta know that, we ain't want that. Nope, we ain't want that. So, just to have a filling up, yep, there you go. So yeah, the amount of stuff I'm doing right now is probably the best. And they said I was a bad teacher. Well, they never said that though. I actually once did volunteer work to children to help them out on a school, and it was all about, you know, teaching them how to teaching them all about, you know, shapes. So all about, you know, cubics and balls and all that stuff, and like how you use your computer. So it was quite fun to see like children saying like, oh, I know how the computer works, and then, you know, you give them a little job of, you know, go ahead, make a texture from Minecraft, and then everybody's like, ah, all right, I can do this, and then you're doing it on a website, and then instantly regrets, like, but I don't know how to do this, and then I'm like, all right, sure, I'll help you, wink. So, well, technically not the wink, but the most evil intention ever. I demonstrated them how to do it, alright? And then I instantly Ctrl Z everything that I did. So they had nothing. They had to start up from scratch. And because they don't know how to, revert my change with the Control Z and the Control R, if I'm correct, they got themselves, they got like, are you shitting me right now? What? This is so unfair. It's like, yes, it's so unfair that I did your homework. And then, that was always my favorite kind of thing. Like, nobody asked me for help. They only asked me for advice after that. And that is the main idea. Like, you don't need help from your teacher. If you want to have help that is about answers, that is, then, you don't have a good teacher. If the teacher is going to give you the answer, then why would you do anything for it? And so I was like really mean to it, like, yeah, sure, I'll give you the answer, and then I'll erase it. If you can track my progress down, yeah, then sure be happy. But I will not give you the answer straight up. You need to do something for it. And so yeah, eventually they find out how to do it themselves. How to fix their mistakes. Like, oh no, I need to do this and this and this, and then they finally get the progress of get the texture, see in the mirror if it works, then go back again, find out if you want this texture, look at the cube to see if the texture fits, and then go back again. And eventually, they were able to design blocks for Minecraft. So yeah, children are quite good at doing their stuff if they know how to do stuff. And yeah, that was a fun experience, at least. Sadly, after the corona and new change of government, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Why? Well, I just don't want to work for that if I don't get anything out of it. The only thing I got out of it was compliments, and I cannot run a life on compliments. Well, I can, but that's different. That's a different result. I just want to, I had appreciation there, and I'm very happy that I got the experience, but, I really want to do it, fully, or, as a real job. That would have been way better, because then I get paid for it, and then, I would be like, oh, I'm getting paid for this. Yeah, that's doable. And I didn't. So I thought to myself, like, do I really want to do this more? Do I really want to do this even longer? And I'm like, no, I don't. I have better things to do. Like, for instance, one of the things that I wanted to do, that I now can do, however, is well, I teach myself how to write. I teach myself how to draw. Those things are important. But yeah, after that, after 1 year of doing absolutely nothing for doing civilian work. I think that's the word, right? Yeah, civilian work. After doing 1 year of doing civilian work, I went back to school. So I got myself a diploma, and I went. I am now a successful. Well, not successful, but I'm a 3D modeler. I know how 3D printers works. I know how to program them. I know exactly how to make a D&D object printable and all that stuff. I know everything of that. I have expertise, and I have books I can read. I have books online I can read. I am even up to date with the news and all the stuff that is done. And yeah, that's a thing that I did. And that's a thing that I still love to do, read stuff. Read. I like to read stuff that is informative. I don't like to read stuff that is non-informative. Depends on what. it is like I'm trying to get the interest a little bit done so that I'm learning how to read myself and how to write. It's quite ironic that I used to hate reading. Could you imagine it? A child that was not fun, that was not happy about reading stuff. No, I can definitely imagine that. But yeah, a lot of stuff that I learned from experience is all about life. It's all about oh well, what you gonna do today? Well, I'm gonna do the same thing as I always do, and that actually was my life. I always did the same thing all the time. Why? Well, I had no better things to do. So yeah, and before I went to the before I went to school again and got my diploma, I even was even worse. It was even well, I was always visiting this cafe that always that was open in the early mornings and then until the late days, where people that with distance on the uh, mm, people that don't have a job, yes, people that cannot get a job correctly because of their disabilities or have trouble getting their job. There you go, getting a job, and therefore they are a little bit broke. So I always went there. Why did I went there? Well, because I like to chat with people, and I always went in like sup, and then after 2 hours I was like, yep, I'm done. And it was quite a quite nice place to be. I really, really, really am happy that I went there sometimes because I could talk to people and then ask them about what they did and how they did it and how what they do. And you got interesting subjects to talk about, and it was quite interesting. But eventually it grows tired. Eventually you want to do stuff. So I keep in touch with most of them for like I think 8 years, yeah, probably. And then eventually, once I had my job done, I was like, now what? Huh. And then I was like, you know what? I quit. I quit visiting them. Why? Because I was like, it's all the same thing all over again. Why do I want to do this? It's so soulless now because I don't feel any interest anymore in visiting it. It's like, yeah, of course I can make food there for free, which I'm a big fan of. I really like to cook when it comes to free cooking. So yeah, but once that died down, I was like, yeah, why do I ever go there again? It's like, I could spend my time wiser, and so I did. I went to the I went once to the 3D modeling, well, to the 3D national 3D modeling in our country. So the 3D bus, no, not bus, place where they all show you the 3D models of the modern world and all the 3D printers and all this stuff. And you have these rich guys who say like, "Hey, you want to buy this?" And I'm like, "Sure thing." And well, I had like a very good conversation with these people because it's all about bees, and I'm a very nice, talkative person. You cannot persuade me to buy stuff. The only time I will buy stuff is if I want it, and I don't need it. So eventually, I talked to a 3D modeler myself, a 3D modeler, and he said like, if you really want to get started on 3D modeling again, maybe you should buy a tablet. And I was like, what kind of wait, a tablet? Well, what is that? And it's like, oh well, this. And then I'm like, that's a drawing tablet. I could try to do it. I never did it before, so heck, why not? So I had like a deep conversation. Even my father was like,
Well, you do you, I do me, and I'll wait for you at that place right there until you're done talking, alright?
So yeah, I uh, I had like a very deep conversation, not like deep with emotions and stuff, more like, what are the specs? What is this? What is that? And how do I do this? Or is it capable of doing this and that and do that? And then you have like this big giant conversation with it. And eventually, I found the right thing. I ordered myself a good old fashioned drawing table tablet. And then I was like, well, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm gonna use my YouTube channel again to get started again and be more invested in it. Why? Well, it doesn't look like I'm gonna get a job any sooner, so heck, why not? So yeah, I did, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. I can just use the YouTube channel to promote myself, to get stuff done, to represent things, to make things better. And now it's like, well, I have a YouTube channel, I have my CV that I still need to fix a little bit, and I can show people my work. Yes. I can show them my progress of work, which is even better, because therefore the whole damn thing, because everybody can then see what I'm doing. So people can see my way of working and how I work and what I can do and what I can do for them. Of course, I also still need to learn stuff. Therefore, that's why I'm using the tablet all the time, because I'm trying to learn stuff, new things and all that. That's why, this is also very important, because this actually gives me the learning curve. Well, not the learning curve, but more like learning do certain things. Because I'm still lacking at certain points. And yes, everybody is lacking at certain points. Even the best. And I'm not saying I'm the best, I'm just saying that, I'm trying to do my very best. And that's all I can do. I can do it with love and all the cuddly little things I can give you. Ah, that's how I roll. I never get demotivated. Why? Because I'm always trying to find a way. And that's the best stuff. I must say myself, I'm actually quite impressed upon how far I already am kicking it. And back in the day, there was this beautiful television series that I have no idea if you ever know this word, but I'll tell you it in Dutch because it's quite easy to tell you. It's called Pipi Lankos. And well, it was about a little girl that was actually very strong to be, and she beat the bad guys, and beat it circus people, because she was stronger than the strong man, and all that stuff. And she always said this: I never did it, so I can do it. And then that works, it's a motivation, it's a motivational speech. You never did this. Heck, well, looks like you can do it then, because you never did it, so why should you not try it? And that makes it all right in my book. Like, I never did drawing on tablet. I'm good at drawing normally, so why not? And yeah. And you can claim that you are self-employed rather than unemployed. Yeah, exactly. I can claim that I'm self-employed if I want to. It just it's just I'm still unemployed because of all the main problem that I face right now is like oh well, we have corona, and we have like dyslexia, autism, and then also epileptic. And then it's like, yeah, that's a downside. And I'm like, yes it is. So every single time in my country you actually need to tell people if you are disabled or not, and you need to tell them exactly what you have. And then it's like, alright, so I need to be honest with you, but if I will be honest with you, I have a very low chance of being employed. Well, that sounds fair. So yeah, people don't want to deal with it. People think like, oh yeah, autism, that's good for my company, and then they realize like, well,
Epileptic. Yes. Great.
and then they don't want to deal with you. That's always my downside. Like, yes, you have this big giant cargo with you. Well, don't mind if I do. Well, technically, it's not epileptic; it's actually absences, but yeah, it's the same thing. That's what they hear. They don't hear absences; they hear epileptic, and that is the main thing. That's the main problem I always face. Like, well, because you have absences, it means that people think like, oh no, this person might do this or that or this, and then it's like I cannot do anything about it. This would be bad for my company, and then people don't like to employ you sometimes. And well, that's why I'm waiting. That's why I'm waiting, because I'm a very good persuader when it comes to talking. I'm not good persuading at writing a letter. That's a thing. That's definitely a thing. I should have checked it out before, but yeah, I'm a good talker, but I'm not a good I'm not a good listener, but I'm a good talker. Yep, and I try to do very best to understand everything and every situation, and then calculate my distant moves on how to get there. But yeah, it's very hard to get a job if you are like having a lot of disabilities, and the company is like, well, we can also hire regular Charlie. That is also a good thing. He at least doesn't he can be paid for regular amounts, and I don't have to worry about anything. Yes, regular Charlie will do fine. And so then they hire regular Charlie instead of you. That's most of the cases. It's like, I can do this, and then it's like, yes, but we also can have regular Charlie, and regular Charlie is way cheaper because we don't have to worry about anything. That's the main problem. But the good news is, though, if I ever would be sick, the company actually gets paid by the government. So hey, that's a plus side on my part. But no, it's not persuading enough. Free stuff is it's never good. But yeah, I'm trying to do my very best to represent myself as good as possible, because it's important. And representations are indeed a thing that I can do. It's a Swedish character, Acid Lingering. I know it. If you see some movies and shows and some books and a lot of other things about Pippi Langkous, or as she known as the Swedish Pippi Langström. Ah, yes, so it is Swedish. Nice. It's a very lovely show. I'll tell you that. It's a very lovely show. It was always aired on back in the day on national television. On our side, like our Nederlandse omroep, NOS. So yeah, it was always on 3 on NOS 3, and so it was always on during the children time that you could watch it, and then it was like, oh my god, this is a very lovely, story about her dad being captured by pirates. And then she needs to rescue her, or rescue him, and then yeah. Waarom? All right. Hold on a sec. I need to. I'll be right back. One sec. One sec. Yeah. The cat lost it.
The cat lost it. The cat lost it. This well, I'm back. This is no well. Let's see. So yeah, that's a thing. Oof. All right, I'm back. Anyway. Yip-a-doo, dip-a-doo. Alright, find out what I need to cook today, so that's good. I have some cooking business to do tonight, midday. Anyway, what I'm gonna be doing today is very easy. I'm gonna be trying to get this all done. Alright. Well, it took me off a little bit, that's for sure. So 60 minutes, that means 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. That's 20, that's 55 minutes anymore. Anyway, it might be that I need to be quitting a little bit earlier today. Mom is asking some stuff, and she is like, I want to go at 12 o'clock, and I'm like, why do you want to go? That doesn't matter, I want to go on 12 o'clock. And then I'm like, yes, but why? And then I can get no answer whatsoever. It's like, great. Anyway, so yeah, I am working on this big giant thing that is, you know, drawing, and so far it's good. The only thing that we're doing now is actually getting one color in, and then, you know, we're gonna get the other one, and then the other one, to get eventually, you know, the effect that we wanted. But that effect is indeed a very hard one to do. So yeah. Hopefully, you know, I'm gonna be saving this bad boy for sure, definitely. So yeah, the amount of stuff I did, ugh. And now I'm totally off my game of talking. God dang it! It's always happening. Every single time I try to talk and then, you know, forget or have something in between, it's like, hey, and then I'm like, yeah, hello, and then I totally forget stuff. It's it's a little bit of a difficult situation, definitely, indefinitely. So yeah, So yeah, drawing is a thing. So what am I gonna be doing after this? I'm gonna be probably, you know, the second color is gonna be good. I think I'm gonna go for the darker color first, and then for the lighter color afterwards, and then, you know, add a little detail to it, like, you know, adding light steps and all that stuff. Yes, that's the idea. All right. So we now figure out what we need to do. Now we only need to make sure that everything here is finely drawn. Well, you know, every dark thing is gone. Or, well, not the color, not the dark thing, I mean the gray area needs to be going away, like gray area. So yeah. Anyway, the amount of stuff we're actually doing right now is actually quite impressive. We successfully, you know, finished the rock part, and now we're already on the coloring part. So that means that we're actually close to schedule. Yeah, actually we are. Huh. I knew it. I knew it. I could trust on my steady hand of drawing to succeed in my epic quest of questness. I don't know. I think that's not a word, but fine with me. It's quite funny that, you know, while working on this thing, and then, you know, realizing like, oh well, it's definitely different than the Mothball project, because it's like a lot more freedom. Yeah, a lot more freedom in the sense of, you know, working bit by bit. The Mothball project is all like, well, what did you do? Well, I did first the whole damn drawing and then I did the coloring. And now I'm actually combining the coloring with the drawing, which increases the progress and therefore, well, decreases the progress and therefore, speeds up time. Also, it creates, we're creating necessary things that are needed for the drawing itself to be there. And since we're coloring things in as we go, the whole damn thing adds up. This is actually what I learned. This is actually a thing that I learned, like, well, I can do that, and that actually works quite well. Because it's eventually, you can still put the color off. That's the idea. Like, I could just do this, and then boom, everything's gone. Oh boy, and there you go. So yeah, the amount of stuff I'm doing here is just, quite easy to understand. It also helps that my PC is like a big giant truck, so he can take this. He can take me doing wacky stuff like, putting out a layer without crashing, thankfully. Which is the main issue I always face. Like, oh well, PC, are you able to do this? And then the PC is like, yes, no, maybe. I'm just gonna do that, and I'm gonna be going here. I'm just I need to get one thing done. Black, fully black, get back here, get that one, and then draw on this. Alright, then go back here, select the color, get back into this one right here, and I can, yes, alright, thank you. Alright, we can continue. I just added some detail because I saw like, oh wait, that's an empty rock. That's a thing that we need to fix. Also, why is this thing there? That's not normal. That's a thing that I don't want. Alright, continue. So yeah, that's the fun part about this whole damn thing. It's like, well, how much are we gonna draw? Well, we're gonna draw a lot. We're just gonna be making sure that all this is done. It's quite fascinating how much stuff we actually did. But since it is, but can your PC run a large Excel file? Maybe. I don't know. Did you know, by the way, that Swedish actually looks almost like Dutch if they speak it? It's quite funny that Swedish is actually quite close to Dutch on the voice lines, which makes it even more fun. It's like, yeah, it doesn't look like it when you type it, but it looks like it when you speak it. The same goes for Danish. Some of the Danish words are actually like almost the same as in Dutch. And, well, Dutch is a Germanic language. It's a very Germanic language. It's one of the closest to Germany, if I believe so myself. In the not in the pronunciations, but in the writing. The pronunciations are more close to Swedish, and then the writing is more close to Germany, and that makes it more fun to watch. It's like, well, you can read a whole article. What? A whole article of Dutch? Oh no. Yes, a whole article of Dutch is really cool. It's always fun that articles are quite easy to read if you like, for instance, I can read Germany. I can read German. I can read German. I can listen to German, and I understand German. Why? Because, well, technically, we actually had it on. We actually had it in the as a second language in our school. Well, not second language, but it's a second language we learned. So we had English and then we had German. So yeah, it's a very close language. We even had a teacher explaining everything about it, which is even more amazing. Like, we had a German teacher explaining stuff about the German Grammatica, and then you realize, like, well, looks like the German Grammatica is actually quite... Oh yeah! And so yes, it's quite amazing that the German Grammatica is actually that more simplified than the Dutch one. The Dutch one is actually really nasty if you want to write a book. It's like, you have to beware of the double T's and double T's. Yes. It's the double D's and double T's and the DT's. It's all about that. It's all about that. And you also have like stupid rules, like, because there is only one queen and one king, if you have a word that is fused with each other, then you only can spell it, you know, you only write down one, you write only one N down. So if you have like queen and you have queen soup, you know, you can then you have like in the Dutch version it is koninginnen soup or koninginne soup. Because there are only one queen, you cannot say the multiple words like queens. So koninginnen, and that is not allowed. So if you have something like queen soup, it is koninginne soup instead of queens. So yeah, it's a little bit confusing upon that part. Grammatica is a bitch. I'll tell you that. That's why my Grammatica is actually quite basic. I'm a basic Grammatica person. It's like, talk basic to me, and then everything works fine. So yeah. But oh man, yeah, I'm really missing my towel already. Dang it. So whoa. All right. So how much are we done already? Ooh, that's a lot of stuff still doing. Let's see. How late is it? 28 minutes, right? Yeah, 28 minutes. I'm fluent in German, Swedish, and English. Actually, I understand Danish and Dutch and Norwegian quite well. Obviously, it would be able to be fully kept up with the mother language, but I can watch a movie in those languages with the voices and subtitles combined, and I completely understand it. Yeah, exactly. That's the funny thing about it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole joke. It's like, oh, have you ever seen English? Well, you should have seen Dutch, and then you see like no resemblance whatsoever, and then when you realize like, oh, so yeah, the English is close to Dutch, closer than to Dutch than you think, even though it might look very weird and the pronunciation's terrible. But if you understand German, then you understand Dutch. If you understand Dutch, you understand Swedish. If you understand Swedish, you understand the Danish parts, if I'm correct, as well, even though it's a different language, but they are close to each other. We even had like Danish. Yeah, we even had Danish. We went on a Danish. Well, I went on a Danish cruise ship. No, ferry. Yes, a ferry to get to Norway. So to get to Norway, I had to be on a Danish cruise ship. But we had lingo. All right, we had lingo. And they were talking with the announcement of blah blah blue blue blue, as you know, like, greetings, ladies and gentlemen, bloody bloody blue is gonna go now on a ride. And the funny thing was, actually, I could understand exactly what they were talking about, even though it was in Danish. I was like, what the hell? Why am I listening to this language and suddenly I understand it after, after an hour on the ship? And it's like, huh, that's strange. But yeah, that's the fun thing. That's the whole fun thing, like, because your language is so close to so close, but because all the languages are so close to the grammatic language, if you listen too long to it, you can actually understand everything they say. If you just figure out like, oh, that word means that, and then you can combine those words with each other, and then you have that word. Like it's quite easy to explain eventually. It just takes time for you to understand certain types of words. So words that are not, compatible. Like for instance, bröd. Yeah, bröd. That is like brood. See? There you go. You have already a word that is actually the same. And that is actually quite cool. And then you have like, I believe the word zee is also a very same word. It means ocean. And that makes it actually even better. But yeah. Oké, geniet ervan. Doei! So, yes. My mom is leaving, so that means that my mom is going to... Where she's gonna go to? I think she's gonna go to the hospital again. Probably. Don't know for sure though. But yeah, it is quite it's quite nice to have this, and I'm working on I'm working on getting things done, and I always get interrupted because I am never alone. Unless I'm now alone though. That did. Don't break. Don't break. Alright, you didn't break. Alright, good. Good. Oh, hey, Space Junk. If you understand her Hungary, you understand it all. Yes, mind blown. This is quite amazing. I must say myself, I'm quite happy how far I got on this and what I did here. So yeah, I already working on these rocks. Rocks. Een rock. Oh. Very difficult word. A rock. Een steen. Oh. Yes. German language. Very easy to understand. No, that was not a German language. That was Dutch all along. So yes, certain types of words in the Netherlands are like really literal. Some words are really literal. So soup, soupe, then you get all those words. Tomaat, tomato. See, certain words are the same. Banaan, banane. Eine Banane. Yeah. See, that's the Dutch. That's the German. Een banaan. See, then you have that one, and then you have one banana, please. And then you have the English one. See, it's all close. It's all related. It's all related. It's the Biggle theory all over again. Ah, yes. So, yeah. It's quite amazing how much stuff I actually can get done in 2 hours. It's quite amazing how much work this actually is. Why is it so much work? Because it's a lot of gaps and a lot of rocky behavior. Well, at least it is not a transportable rock. It's on a flying ship, a spaceship, but not complaining about that. Not complaining at all about that now. I want to just work on this rock. So yeah, it's quite amazing how much stuff I actually can get done once I put my mind to it because of hyperfocus. Oh. Of course, you know, we're gonna put in. Of course, we're gonna put a second color on this as well. You maybe understand some semi or semi or Finnish, if you know Hungarian, but not much else though. Oh, really? Finnish is a very difficult language to understand. I only know that I can count to 4. Alright? I can only count to 4 in Finnish. So, that's how far I got. Yksi taksi ilman 4 There you go. Oh wait, that's 5. Well, too bad. If you ever want to call a taxi, you're never supposed to say taxi in Finnish. It's quite funny that probably it's not spelled like that. Definitely it's not spelled like taxi, but holy hell. It's quite fun. I actually went to Finland once for visiting of my family that lived there for 2 years, I believe, because of business. And we were able to get there just to visit one of my nieces being born, if I'm correct. Yes, that was like a long time ago though. Poof, that was long. That was a really long time. Alright. Let's see. So we have rock. No rock. Gap. Rock. And then here's the gap, and then I need to make sure that I have the part here. Rocked. Alright. Boop. And then back again. Go to full dark. Go back here, grab that, and then draw. Alright, then go back here, grab the color, go back into coloring mode. Easy. So easy. It's quite impressive how much stuff I actually can get done. Oh baby, so many rocks. But yeah. But oh, I know a Dutch word. Vodka. Seriously, vodka? Is that really a Dutch word? I thought it was original, you know, Russian word. Like, you know, I never saw a Dutch person create vodka, okay? Vodka is it's a heavy, it's a really good drink though. It's very tasteful. You know what a really German word is, by the way? I know one. Jagertee. Ja. Jägertee. It's a very good one. It's very tasty. It's a high alcohol percentile drink that you're supposed to combine with tea. So you need to put only a little bit of it, like the bottle. So you have like the bottle, and you have like you screw it off, and then you pour it into the little bottle. So you have like a tiny little bit, put it into the tea, and then screw it back in, screw it back on, and then, you know, you have like this very good tea. I had like a blast laughing once once I went drunk, because we did not realize that it was like almost 21%, I believe so. It was actually quite good though. It was really tasty. It was really sweet. But yeah, that's a very good one. Taxi in Finnish is actually taxi, so it's the same. Really? Oh my god. Oh, that's confusing. That's really confusing, because it is Aksi, Taxi, Ulma, Nelia, Wheezy. So it's 2. So, oh, that's confusing. That's so confusing. That's so confusing. Oh. Yeah, I want to call for the cab. Well, don't call it into finish because you're either gonna say two. It's like two or taxi, and then you see a cab in front of you. It's like, that's new. That's confusing. That's confusing as fuck. That's confusing of the highest order there. Holy shit. Ah, man. This is fun, just talking about regular shit. It's like, yeah, what are you talking about today? Well, we went from there to there, and now we are here. You know, we went we went through the mountains, into the sky, into space, and then we landed again into the desert, and we're now at point blank range of a volcano. How did you do that? Uh, don't ask questions. I have no idea how this all works out. You don't have to question me about this. I was questioning you about it. Yeah. So yeah, it's quite amazing that such things can occur. Holy hell! Such fun that actually so many words are different in their pronunciations, in their way, in their shaping. Words. A thing that you can learn. Words. Anyway. So, let's see. How much stuff do I need to represent here? There you go, put that there. Easy. So yeah, look at that. Look at that bad boy. Oh yeah. So, how do I do this? How do I do this? Holy shit. I have nothing to talk anymore. No, I am empty of talking. Ah, damn it. Not quite. You're probably remembering a word. Kaski is to. Oh. Well, I'm sorry I pronounced it wrong. It's Kaski. So it's Uxi, Kaski, Ulma, Nelia, Easy. I remember also French, if you don't know. I can count to French to 20, I believe. It is a little bit rubbish though, so it's trash French. So don't hit the messenger on that one. French is a non-existing language for me most of the times. It's like, do you want to speak French? No. It's the worst kind of language you ever can pronounce. It's like all these things that don't make any sense in my knowledge. It's like, why is this not Germanic? Why is this all why is it all Galish? That's the worst part. Oh man, I remember. Oh, I remember French class. Oh hell no. Wait, I did not went to French class. I remember French though. I went to French, and I had to go to a French class in France to visit my nieces again because they moved to France. And then you had these lovely places to be, and everybody was speaking this alien language that nobody talks about. It's like, oh no, not that one. Je ne peux comprendre. And then I'm like, no, I don't speak French. So yeah, I'm terrible at French. It's it's not my go-to language if I ever want to have one. If I ever want to have one go-to language, it's English, because holy fucking shit, it's way more easier. It's easified. Nah, it's easiest language by far. I think, right? English is actually the easiest language to learn by far, because it has less problematics in grammar and pronunciations. Of course, you know, I also have Dutch, but Dutch is not counting when you... Dutch is a very terrible language when you want to learn how to write it. It's a pain in the fucking ass. It's like, well, looks like little Timmy is back again on his dry feet. Should be a shame if someone has a hammer and hammers him into the sand again. That's Dutch language. It's like, well, you have everything right, but you're missing the DTs, the double T's, the double TTs. The ENs, the N's. Oh, double N's, the enkele N. Oh, all those bastard things. Holy hell. It's always so nasty that the grammar of, from the Dutch are... Even the Germans are easy with it. It's like, you speak it, how you pronounce it, that's how you write it down. Alright? If it has a D in it, you write a D. If it has a T in it, you write a T. No bullshit. No fucking around here. Just no bullshit allowed. But the Dutch are like, nah, we want to have a double T, and a double D on it. And then if it is created by if it is an English word that we had not before, you know, if it is an English word that we just borrowed, then those rules are not allowed. Those rules are wrong. Then you need to use those rules over there. You know, those ones that you forgot about? Yeah, those rules. So then you need to write it only down with one T or one D. No, with one T. So if it is a word that is from the English, then you need to write it with one T. If it is a Dutch word, you need to figure it out if it is a D or double T or DT or double T, double D, double DT, and all that stuff. So it's double DT doesn't exist, but it's a DT, T, D, or double TT. So yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess sometimes. Ugh. But yeah, I'm very happy that, you know, I succeeded in Dutch. I succeeded in Dutch class, even though, you know, I'm a terrible person when it comes to Dutch. My pronunciations are probably bastardized to oblivion, so it is... I speak Dutch, but I speak very good. Yes, very good indeed. That's how a normal Dutch person speaks English, by the way. I am very good at English speaking. Yes. When I go to the bathroom, I like to take a shower, and when I'm done with it, I probably like to lay down on my couch and watch some TV. Yeah, that's some right and proper impression of how to speak English 101 when you meet a Dutch person. If you, without a doubt, you know, that's without a doubt, that's how you speak English when you speak like a true Dutchman. You are around from here? I can do this all day long. It's quite entertaining to see that the Dutch people are actually using the vocabulary of the English actually totally wrong when they like, do you know the way? I am quite lost. Yeah. It's horrible. It's pain in the ear to hear. You know,
a true Dutchman speak. If you have that kind of accent, it's like, oh no, please stop it with the Dutch accent, please. I beg of thee. Well, you know, speaking native Dutch is it's also a thing. Also, if you're from the Dutch, it doesn't mean always that you understand each other. It all depends on which region you come from, because some regions actually have accents, and those accents are quite different. Yeah, yeah. You have the great Boeren language. Yes, Boeren language. There you go. I will say it like farmer language. You have this language that is actually talking like a farmer. You know, like, Baggy Marty, you got myself some good old-fashioned sheep. Yeah, that kind of accent. But then even worse. So it's like talking out of your mouth, but without talking inside of your mouth instead of outside. Then you also have like the how do you say this one? Then you also have the German English. Well, not the German English, but the German Dutch vocabulary. So it's like very close to Germany on, you know, the pronunciations, but it is yet different. But if you compare them to a normal Dutch person speaking, it's way different. It's like, well, the pronunciations are wrong. How you write it down is like almost Germany language, like German's language. So yeah, good job. And then you have also like, the mid section. So the mid section is it is the farmer language combined with the German accent. So you have like the, well, no, not fully. It's talking like on a fish market without any fish. That's Rotterdam's. Yeah, that's the Noord-Hollands, if I'm correct. Like you talk like you want to sell fish. You're not selling fish, but you talk like you want to sell fish. So that's the Rotterdam's accent, which is also quite funny to see. You complained that vodka came out from Polish. Well, good to know. Okay, but a word that is originally vodka is bokking. Bokke. Yeah, yes, it is. That's exactly a Dutch word. Bokking, yeah. Bokken. A bok. De bokkenrijders. De verschrikkelijke bokkenrijders. Ze zitten ons al de hele jaar lang bezig te houden met die bokken. Ze doen alleen maar die verschrikkelijke bokkenrijders in ons land. Ze moeten het land uit. Yeah, bokkenrijders. So those are the men that ride on goats. Those people were, you know, hated back in the day in the lands of our country, because they were ghosts of the shadow, raiding villages, pillaging them, you know, murdering peasants. And, you know, there was a rich guy who was like, oh no, I want it all. I want to be greedy. I want to raid this, you know, temple. And then, you know, you have the whole damn, you know, story about how his house became cursed. So yeah, that's actually a quite cool. It's actually a quite cool story about the bokkenrijders, bokken. But yeah, you also have bokkenpoten, bokkenpootjes, which is a nice little treat. So it looks like a how do you say? It looks like a bone, yes, but it is actually a crusty little
food that you can eat. So it's quite fun. It's not actually bone, it's just, looks like it. And they call it a bokkenpootjes. Bokken. But yeah, bokken is, a bok is like a goat. A male goat. So yeah, bokken. But it is quite funny to see that, that there is a lot of things that are like that. A lot of language you can compare, which I like the most about it. Anyhow, let's see how far we are. Are we almost done? Hopefully. I was hoping so. Look at that, that's awesome. Alright, cool. Now that we've done that, I'm gonna save. And then I'm gonna be looking at the time, and I see the time. So we didn't do give good. So if we now put this back online, alright, we can already see what is going on here. Look at that, that's awesome. That's fucking amazing. I just still need to do some fixing here and there, but I need to do some erasing here and there, but then, oh my god, this is gonna be looking great. Alright, so this is the first color, and this is the first color that we're gonna be using. And we need to get some erasing done, because I can see stuff that is not allowed. Meh. It's not allowed. Alright. Anyhow, I hope you all have been enjoying this, and I'll catch you all later then. And I wish you all a lovely day. And until then, well, let's see. Until then, so if we put this back on then, yeah, look at that, that's awesome. That already looks fucking amazing. Yep. So if we put this on, then it would be... No. No. I put something out. No. Which one is it then? This one it is not, right? No. Yeah, something missing. No. This one? No. Come on. Something is missing and I know what. Where is it missing? Where is the missing thing? Where is the missing link? That's tooth. That's not what I want. Did I not implement it yet? Oh, alright, well. But anyway, so as you can see, this is actually quite looking nice already. Even though, it's not fully done, but... But yeah. Oh, alright, wait. No. This one I need to be on, yes. Alright, cool. That looks way better. So, no. Yes. This one. No. This one? Yes, there you go. Alright. I'm gonna be saving here. So, yeah. I wish you all a lovely day. And thanks all for watching. And I hope I'll see you all next time. Until then, bye.